Socks that stink, socks that give you blisters, socks that just simply wear out, socks that don't look cool, socks that might look cool. What a dilemma we are in this day and age about socks. Honestly, I mean, maybe it's because there's so much choice out there. Today, I'm gonna try and solve this dilemma for you and talk a little bit about socks. Maybe something that you might not hear spoken about a lot, but it's actually quite important when you think about it, because we walk around the whole day, we do a load of sport, and we pretty much, most of the time, well, some of us do it barefoot, but most of the time, we do it wearing a pair of socks. So you kind of want them to be comfortable, you kind of don't want them to wear out, you don't really want them to smell, and some people want them to look quite cool. Now, I'll tell you something. My sock choice is very straightforward. I keep it black, I keep it white, and one of the pairs of socks I've got has a little bit of green on it, but that is it. I don't get too excited. The reason being is a whole other story, and I won't go into that. 5 years ago, I started wearing a brand of socks called Roque running socks. Those of you that have been around me or come to the gym probably know all about these socks, but you might not know everything I'm gonna talk about. These guys approach things a little bit differently. What they did is they went out and they got a load of basically waste material and started looking about recycling it. They took the nylon from things like fishing nets and also from waste that they found in places like oceans, and they recycled that nylon back to its original form and started making it into a yarn for making socks. They then put that nylon through a special process, which obviously I really don't know everything about, and then they take it to a point where they actually coat the nylon in an odor reducing, let's call it, substance. So stick with me here, because some of you might be a bit grossed out. You don't actually really need, you should, but you don't really need to wash these socks so often. Therefore, you're also reducing the amount of washing that you're doing, which is also better for the environment. So we're taking old fishing nets and old ocean waste, and we're turning that nylon back into socks that we can use and we don't need to wash so often. These guys had me straight away. I was like, that sounds so cool. But as the problem that I've seen with a number of brands that have started recycling products to then turn it into sports equipment, we find lots of different issues because it's not quite what we used to. It doesn't feel the same, it doesn't perform the same, and a lot of time it doesn't last for as long as we want it to. Roque was a little bit different, and that's why 5 years on, I'm still wearing the socks. So what socks do I love? What do I wear for what? And why do I love them so much? Number one sock that I wear pretty much every day is this guy here. It's very straightforward, black running socks, and it's called Norerbro, yeah, I can say it, collection. This was actually a custom sock that they made for a run club in Europe. I've run marathons in this. I wear it pretty much every day, and it is what I would call just a standard crew sock. It's super reliable, and these things last, honestly, for, which maybe the company don't love, because they've made socks that last forever. These things last for about a year and a half, and I only cycle 2 or 3 pairs, and I wear them pretty much every day. That's one, and yes, they come in white, but of course I wear them in black. Come on, you know that by now. When I go cycling, what a surprise, I wear a black sock. These are a little bit more straightforward. This is the Roque Ignite cycling sock, but hey, I've changed things up recently, and I've gone really a little bit nuts, and I've started wearing it in white as well. The only problem I have with the white one is that, of course, every time I ride my bike, I put oil on it. So A, I end up with a sock that's not quite white, and B, I end up with a wife that's like, why is there oil all over your socks? And you know how that goes. Anyway, I like the white ones. I wish I could have white ones the whole time, but the longevity of the white ones for me is probably not as long as my favorite black ones. You might ask, can you wear the Ignite cycling socks for running or for everyday use as well? Yes, you can, and today I've also got them on. So that is my go-to sock for cycling, and also you could run in it as well. I think sometimes we're a little bit head up. Is it cycling sock? Is it a running sock? Like, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, they're 2 of the socks that I wear. And the third one, and I've actually got this one in the bag. I'm gonna talk about the bag in a second. Let me get it out of the bag here. You should be watching the video version, of course. If you're not, anyway. Then we have, which this is an amazing sock, the Trail Razor sock, which this one, I mean, you can see me in the dark, right? It's got a little bit of green on it, but it's predominantly black. But before I get onto that sock, the packaging these guys make is also super cool as well. It's fully biodegradable, it's not plastic. I mean, it's like a lot of packaging these days, but it's like not a lot of packaging these days. If you think about supermarkets, they still make packaging that is non-biodegradable on a lot of different groceries as well, and the styrofoam, don't even get me started on that. So that is a bit of paper that holds the sock together, a bit of card, easily recyclable, biodegradable. biodegradable, and also the bag, which of course says on it, makes it very clear, hey, I just want to remind you that I'm not trash. I'm made 100% from recycled plastic. So remember to recycle me. Guys, recycled plastic's only decent if we actually recycle it. So please don't put it in the bin with all the normal stuff that goes to landfill. Put it in the recycling bin. So this sock I have run, I wouldn't say hundreds of thousands of Ks in, but I've run a lot of Ks in. I wear them on my trail shoes. I also wear them on my normal running shoes. The difference between that and the Nobero sock is that it is a little bit thinner, and I like that. I like that because sometimes with a thicker sock in the heat and in my trail shoes, I do get a little bit of friction. What I get with this sock is very, very limited friction. Friction is the cause of blisters when it comes to wearing socks and when it comes to running. So if you have less friction, then you're probably gonna have less heat and therefore you're gonna have less blisters. This sock is absolutely gold. I was recently in Kenya Iten. I took 2 pairs of these socks. I only wore 1 pair. Why? Because I washed them. I did wash them every day. I washed them by hand so I didn't completely destroy the environment. They don't smell at all. They wash really well. And what's also incredible about this trail sock, which is more important if you're a trail runner or running in a wet environment, is that it dries super fast even when you're running. That's exactly what I need. And that also reduces friction and reduces blisters. Uber comfortable, and yeah, these ones with a little bit of color are not too bad. So they're my go-to. I've got the Trail Razor for trail running, and you can wear this for any type of running. Of course, you can wear it for cycling as well. It actually feels quite nice for cycling. I've also got the Nobero, which is just a black sock. You can get it in white as well. And then I've got my cycling sock, edgy these days in white, but also my stock standard, my money one in black. I love these socks, and I'm super happy that these guys are still making them. I'm also super happy that they're made from recycled stuff, because if we can do a little bit for the environment, I think that's super awesome. Socks, there you have it. I bet you didn't think it could be that complicated. It can be. Hope your feet don't smell. Thanks for listening.